Hey guys, and before I start the Raw review, I just want to plug in some ways you guys can contact me. You can follow me on Twitter, add me on Facebook, or add me on Skype, video calls, whatnot. So, you can contact me, we can talk about wrestling, whatever. I would love to contact everyone who watches, likes, comments, and all of that. So much appreciated if you could add me on any of those, so we can communicate. I think it'll be a nice chance for you to get to know me as well. And, yeah, I'd love to talk to everybody who watches wrestling. I love getting different views and all that. So, yeah, add me. So we kick off with Raw, and Hogan starts the show. He opens the show and announces an over-the-top Battle Royal 30-man for the Andre the Giant Memorial Trophy. This does add a speciality to WrestleMania, because it's Andre the Giant, a historical name right there, and it's history bidding onto WrestleMania 30. It's an anniversary show, so they're having the history inputted into the show. It makes it more of a celebration, a historic show. It's 30 years. That's a big deal. That's a very long time. Hogan announces this Battle Royal. And also what I like about this, it's actually going to feature guys we don't normally see at a WrestleMania. You can add in newer talent, maybe even guys from NXT, maybe bring in legends, add some star power to it, maybe. But it's a nice way to feature more guys. There's 30 people you can feature here. That's a really good opportunity to them guys who don't normally get onto the WrestleMania card. And now you can actually showcase them on WrestleMania. So I really do like that. And especially they get to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Trophy. And that is, Andre the Giant, star name, recognition there. I like this, I really do. But anyway, we have bloody John Cena who comes down. Mr. Ass Kisser himself. He comes down, pretty much kisses Hogan's ass, saying, "Oh, I used to watch you, and I remember WrestleMania 3 was my best match with you and Andre the Giant. Yeah, I bet. I couldn't rip my shirt off. Yeah. I hate John Cena." And he was just kissing asses in this. Really, pretty much. It's like, "Hogan, come here, I'll kiss your ass." Yeah, it was silly. You have the Wyatts come down. They cut a promo on John Cena. You then have John Cena doing in some jokes and says that he doesn't want to be in, well, he actually said that he wants to be in this Battle Royal, but now he's going to go away from it now and face Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. You then have Eric and Rowan, Luke and Eric. I always get the names wrong. They come down, and then Hogan and John Cena scares them off. Then the Wyatts retreat. And then you've basically got Hulk Hogan doing what he does best, doing all these statures, and giving it to the fans. They love that. But what I found quite funny in this was they tried to get John Cena involved with all this, and the fans weren't having it. They were booing the fuck out of him. And good on them for doing that, because it's just putting Hogan trying to put John over John Cena. The fans weren't having it. You'd have John Cena. "I had to go to this crowd because I like this crowd because it's very energetic. Like me. You like Hogan, I'm gonna kiss his ass. You should like me." It's typical crap. I don't like John Cena. And the fans didn't like John Cena. And there was a match between John Cena and Rowan. And John Cena wins, just not putting over anybody as usual. So we then come to the Usos, the new tag team champions, versus Rybacksel. Oh god. But you had the New Age Outlaws actually on commentary, and this just basically showcased the Usos in a strong manner, and then going over in this match. There wasn't really much build to the New Age Outlaws and the Usos. But I think they might be carrying it on to WrestleMania. It does look like that, because they didn't have a match on the main event, which is on a Wednesday. We then come to Big E versus Jack Swagger. This was quite interesting because they tried to make Cesaro actually interfere with the match, so Jack Swagger could get the win in a heelish manner. But then you have Big E who actually wins. Then there's some friction between Cesaro and Jack Swagger, and basically Zeb just makes them shake hands, but Cesaro holds his hand tightly, squeezes the hand, again showing friction. So they're basically really just teasing them breaking up, and I would have rather have seen Goldust and Cody Rhodes have this spotlight rather than Cesaro and Jack Swagger. But I guess they're probably trying to input this into a match at WrestleMania with a triple threat, maybe. Big E, Cesaro, and Jack Swagger for the Intercontinental Championship, that's right, because Dean Ambrose has the United States Championship. And I always forget that because we never see him defend it, do we? So we then come to the Undertaker segment, which also featured Paul Heyman. It was pretty much just a short segment. It didn't drag, which is quite nice. And I know that the Undertaker hasn't been in the... He's a part-time wrestler now, so the mic skills are obviously not as good. And that's why I believe they had a Paul Heyman there straight away, interfering with with the Undertaker's segment, his speech. I like that, and I like this obsession which Paul Heyman has with the Undertaker and how he needs to defeat Undertaker. It's starting to feel like to me that it's about Heyman and Undertaker, and Brock Lesnar's not really in the feud. He's just there. It's like a bodyguard. That's why I wish that Brock Lesnar was actually on this show. He was maybe him just standing there, because they do need to build up Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker, because it's not Paul Heyman versus Undertaker. That's just my slight worry about this, because it does seem that the spotlight is basically on Paul Heyman and his obsession of trying to end the Undertaker's streak. And we're not going to see Paul Heyman versus Undertaker. We're going to see Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker, and they really need to show you the friction between them and the feud, the rivalry between them two, because they've had a real good rivalry back in 2002. They can rehash that, even mention it. The Undertaker could never beat Brock Lesnar. Maybe build something with that. And I'm also wondering, is there going to be any stipulation with this match? You've got a Brock Lesnar, former MMA, UFC guy. Got the Undertaker. Is there going to be any stipulation with this match? Because I think it would help, especially with a Brock Lesnar, him with his physicality. Maybe even have it, I don't know, no holds barred or whatnot. Hell in a Cell, but that was at WrestleMania 28. But they did have a match at Hell in a Cell, inside Hell in a Cell, at No Mercy 2002. They can even, showcase some of that, the rivalry in the past. I think that's what they need to do. Because at the moment, it just seems to me that it's Heyman, his obsession of taking down the Undertaker's streak. That's all it seems to me at the moment. But afterwards, we have the Rhodes Brothers versus Reigns and Rollins. There was a backstage segment with Kane and the Shield, and they had to prove themselves that they still are the Shield. And this match was a really quite good match. It was an entertaining match. I enjoyed it, certainly. But it showcased Rollins in a really good way as well. You had Rollins actually get the pin on Cody Rhodes. I really am starting to like Rollins a bit more than I used to, definitely. Again, it was just showed the power of the Shield, showed them that they're strong, that they're not going to break up any soon, are they? They're not going to break up soon. They probably will. And I wonder when they actually are going to break them off, because it seems like they were breaking away. But they've come back together now, and they're as strong as ever. I am interested to see what they do and what they book the Shield into WrestleMania. Hopefully they don't drop the ball on them, especially. Please don't. So we then come to a Pointless Divas match, which I will not talk about. And then we come to a segment which everybody cares about. This was the moment. This was what made the show. This is why people enjoyed the show. I enjoyed the show because of this segment. I thought it was a pretty decent Raw, to be honest, but this segment, it was a really good segment. This was the Daniel Bryan segment. He gets loads of fans to the ring. Obviously, they weren't, the fans who actually paid to go to the show and all. They got backstage. But who cares? Do you know what this to me, right? It just showed this, because last week, they actually acknowledged the hijack Raw. And they thought, but they're sitting there thinking, you know what, next week we're going to win up those Chicago fans, and we're going to do our own angle of hijacking Raw. And they did a splendid job on this, an absolutely fantastic job on this. Really good. Daniel Bryan gets them all to the ring. This is how you hijack a Raw, isn't it? This is a work, obviously. But this was great. He gets them to the ring. And he says, we're not leaving until I get my match with Triple H. You have the Authority, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon come down. They showed the intensity and how Triple H wants them out of the ring in 30 seconds. They don't come out. You actually have a real good, this really, really good, powerful segment with Stephanie McMahon. They really highlight her with her mic skills. Really good. It reminded me of Mr. McMahon. But seriously, really good mic work from her. This was a really good segment. You have her get all angry. Triple H then has to say, I am going to face you at WrestleMania. He then goes off. But you have Daniel Bryan saying, wait. Because if I win, it wasn't the stipulation he wanted. It wasn't the stipulation he wanted. He goes, something else what the fans want is to see me win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And the crowd popped for this. Really good stuff. And I'm glad they acknowledged this, because I thought they were just going to do Daniel Bryan versus Triple H. That was it. Again, I was still for that. But now they've made my interest go up even more, because now, if Daniel Bryan beats Triple H, he will face Batista and Randy Orton for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. You have Triple H saying that he agrees, whatever Daniel Bryan, he's going on a mad one, he really is. And this segment was gold. Really good segment. And this segment really boosted my aspiration, my excitement going into WrestleMania 30. And I'm sure a lot of fans are going to be going to be happy about this, because Daniel Bryan is possibly going to be walking out WrestleMania 30 as the face and as the damn champion. And I'm sure everybody is excited to see that, because I am as well. We then come to Sheamus versus Christian. Oh boy, who cared about this match? It was a street fight in the end, because you could vote. But why vote when you've seen it so many times and it's the same result all the damn time? Sheamus wins. Oh boy, this sucked, because we've seen it so many times. It's the same result every time. They've faced off, I believe now, 3 or 4 times within a space of a few weeks. Near to the end of the show, we had a Bray Wyatt promo, and it was basically him saying that, he accepts John Cena's challenge, and it's going to be John Cena versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 30. Should be an interesting match, really, I think, because who knows what could happen. You have someone in there like a John Cena, who nobody likes, and his track record is pretty much win, and probably just a 1 loss. I think he's lost 3 times at WrestleMania, but he's won all the rest. So his track record is pretty high, and he's against Bray Wyatt. We have to have Bray Wyatt win this, because if WWE book it that John Cena wins this, it's all about John Cena, I do not care. So for the main event, we have Batista, Randy Orton against The Big Show and Daniel Bryan. Whew. Batista's showing in this was awful. Again, he was gassed out. And something I was going to rant about this week was Batista versus Randy Orton. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that now, because with the added stipulation of Daniel Bryan, I reckon he'll be Triple H, and I reckon he'll actually be in the triple threat match, because they do need a babyface in this, because it's heel versus heel at the moment. And he was gassed out within the first... He come out and he was gassed, basically. Good God. But, I mean, we might not make that main event anymore. But this main event, Daniel Bryan won. He actually pinned Randy Orton. I believe Batista speared Randy Orton because Daniel Bryan dodged it, and Daniel Bryan got the pin on Randy Orton with the high knee kick, and that ended the show. So this Raw was pretty much basically about Daniel Bryan and his dominance. So I do wonder what they can do with the next few weeks, building into WrestleMania, because we got 3 new matches onto this. We got the Andre the Giant Memorial Trophy Battle Royal, 30-man over-the-top Battle Royal. We got John Cena versus Bray Wyatt, and we've also got Triple H versus Daniel Bryan, with the added stipulation of if Daniel Bryan wins, he will be able to go into the main event, and that'll be the triple threat match between Batista and Randy Orton. I really think that's going to happen. And you know what, this Raw was pretty decent. It's got me a bit more excited for WrestleMania, because at the moment I've been watching past WrestleManias, trying to get into the mood, and it's slowly creeping up. But this Raw really did help me get my interest for WrestleMania 30, and I hope it did with you. I really do hope this Raw got you in the mood for WrestleMania, because it's only like 3 weeks away now, so I'm really interested to see what the upcoming Raws do to enhance the WrestleMania build, and to see what's going to happen at WrestleMania, what's going to happen, the build, and the excitement going forth into that pay-per-view. So I hope you enjoyed, guys. And remember, you can add me on pretty much all those social networks, Twitter, Facebook, and Skype. Please, because I will communicate with you guys, and we'll have a laugh. Trust me, we really will. But until next time, guys, I hope you enjoyed. See ya.